Hello, everyone. I'm a couple minutes early. Couple minutes early because this wonderful friendship journal on a journey is brought to us all by the Crafty Bunch. And I want to allow enough time for the Crafty Bunch to grab this feed and play it. So I will be on the Crafty Bunch page. I will be on the Liza Jane Designs, which is now called the Afton Creative Arts Studio page. And also on my YouTube channel, live on my YouTube channel. So I will wait until 7 p.m. to do my official introduction and hello. If you're new to me, I hope we can be friends. I am new to the Crafty Bunch and so grateful to be here. Hello, Mama P. Thank you for sharing me into the group. So I'm going to officially begin now. My name is Liz. My inner artist is Liza Jane, and she creates here at the Afton Creative Arts Studio in Afton, Minnesota. And I'm thrilled to be a part of this friendship journal on a journey effort. And I've been so excited about it that, like I always do, it's like, well, do I want to do this or this or this? And I bite off lots of chunks. And I think I have settled on my journal cover for, let me just switch so you can see, you can still see me, Liz, and it's dark outside and it's pretty darn cold here, but I'm in my studio tonight and I've got my mini split cranking out some heat so I can be warm. I'm wearing a Cantha cloth apron because for me, nothing says boho quite as much as Cantha cloth. That's something I am going to be using in my journal, in my journal covers. If you can see this particular one, I've had for a while. I love the words that are included. I love the hand embroidery that's already a part of this. All the many beautiful colors that are part of the Cantha cloth. So these are from India. Cotton, hand stitched, they just scream boho to me. So I am using some of the Cantha cloth. Let me show you one of my first mock-ups here for this. Can't be for the friendship journey because it's too skinny here. There's only going to be room inside for like 3 signatures, but I used Cantha cloth. I used some embroidery directly on this old book cover. Can you see that? Let's see. That shows up on the camera there. Hi, Missy. Hi, Then and Again by Jan. Nice to meet you as well. So we've got some embroidery right here into the book cover, as well as attaching these pieces of already embroidered Cantha cloth, cutting out some of the motifs from that. And I've always been a fan of this semicolon, which I understand to mean in mental health circles. I'm not done yet. The world is not finished with me. I'm going to continue on. So I love that symbol, and it's right here on the front of that journal. So I got that one in the works. I found this could also be perfect for a boho style friendship journal. This was from a day planner type thing that I had in 2023. So underneath this, where I've embroidered just the word true, is the year 2023. But again, boho. Is this not boho with the Volkswagen bus, the embroidered tent, the great outdoors, and a little more embroidery directly onto this book cover too, with all of this. And I don't think this is the one I'm still going to do for this journey. I love it. And I've got parts, set up to use for it. I have put together, this is from a file folder that I just cut down, and I glued two of them, or I glued it together so it's two thicknesses of file folder to make a binding, or a spine that is going to be big enough to hold the 5 signatures we want for these friendship journals. So I'm going to cut this guy down and just kind of show a little bit on camera what I did in the one I think is going to be my actual friendship journey journal. I think it's going to be this one, you guys. So let me just, though, I got the file folder cut to the right width, and I'm just going to cut it down to be a tiny bit smaller than this cover itself. I'm using the, well, I don't even know what that is, but like where this is covered with this polka dotted paper. I'm going to use that as my scale for this and just kind of cut this guy down. I have been watching some of the other presenters here. I caught some of Amanda's and Michelle and Bev. And I'm going to go back and watch in a lot more detail as well. But I noticed this Tyvek tape used by a lot of folks. It's a great way to, create a journal from other books that you have. I'm going to just take some of this Tyvek tape. Ooh, that's a sound. And put I hope this is showing up on the camera okay. Hey, Virginia, first watching from Colorado. Hey, Jamie. Wow, it's great to have everyone here. If you have any trouble seeing, please let me know. I'm trying to catch the comments. Here is there. So we know that we want to leave a little bit of a gully here, right? At least I'm calling it that, a little, so that when we fold the book, we've got that hinge. I may want to straighten this out a bit. There, that's going to be okay. So this is going to become something that could hold 5 signatures when I get that in place there. So pulling this other Tyvek tape, I understand that, if we don't have Tyvek tape, we can have painter's tape or other kinds, but this Tyvek tape should withstand getting the abuse that these journals kind of get when they get punctured. And yes, thank you for everyone for being here. Oh, Danny, hello there. So great to have you watching live. Excuse my fingers here, trying to get this tape apart. There we go. So I'm going to get this going well. What the heck? Let's cut this one away and come back with, I hope, a whole piece of the Tyvek tape that I can, yeah, there we go, that I can put onto the side of this cover. I will line that up straight, I hope. Cut that down. And attach this. Yeah, the Tyvek tape really sticks well. I'm going to leave the kind of like a 1/4 inch of space to have the hinge. Line that up okay there, line that up here. And now I've got a good looking hinge in there. And I can mark that up for where my signature holes will get punched and so on. But this one will be ready to turn into an art journal. And it just screams boho. Does it not scream boho, you guys? But I don't know. I think I'm saving this. I'm saving this one for another day and time. And we're going to get into the journal cover I actually am going to use for this. And it's going to be this one. So this is a book cover. It's not even that old a cover. It's an Anna Quindlen novel. Black and Blue, I think it was called. So it's got a really pretty blue cover. I made the spine. Yeah, I made the spine from a box of potato chips. So it's a 3-pack of potato chips. Comes in a big enough box that you can make a book spine out of it. I glued 2 pieces of that together because I'd like it to be nice and sturdy as well. And I've already made my lines for the 5 signatures we're going to have here. So I've got a red one in the middle. That's going to be the center signature. And then kind of about 1/4 inch over each way. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures. I believe I want to finish this off with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'll be marking the center and 2 other holes up here and get my holes in place on that. But let's have some fun with the design part of this while I'm live on camera here, because I think that's really the funnest part. I took my Cantha cloth. I have done some prep of that and cut out pieces that I thought would be lovely to embellish this pretty blue. I am going to use some Fabri-Tac here and get this glued on where it's going to cover these and cover the potato chip box. So I'm going to Fabri-Tac on one side. I should have a popsicle stick, but I'm going to use this transfer tool and get that Fabri-Tac along here and just glue that down. I've already ironed my raw edges on here, and we're just gonna go like this with our fabric. I am going to use a matte medium glue mixture here to put on the top so that the fabric is going to have some, what do I want to call it? It's like it won't be absorbent anymore. We're going to put on the glue and the matte medium to make it more of a non-porous, it'll hold up better to use, I hope, kind of a situation. I'm going to smooth this over with that Fabri-Tac underneath. Try to keep this pretty straight. Oh, turn your phone sideways. Comments go away. Thanks, Pat. This fabric, if you just joined, comes from my giant Cantha quilt with all these wonderful patterns and designs. And I'm anticipating all the wonderful journals I can make using this. I just love the cotton Cantha cloth. And like I said, it's a hippie boho, fun, free-spirited kind of a vibe for me. So there we got that glued down. I'm going to add this matte medium glue mixture. It's kind of my own, for me, improvement on just, simple glue or simple Mod Podge. It combines the things I like about both, where it's a little more fluid than just glue. And I'm going to just pour that right on there. This stuff will drink this up. But I want to give it a finish that will stand up to some abuse. Not that I'm planning to have my journal get all soaking wet or anything like that. But I know myself well enough to know that I am not 100% tidy, hardly ever. So I want to protect the book cover, protect the fabric from wear and tear, make it so I can kind of clean it up a little bit here and again. But putting that on the cover as well, same reason, make it more non-porous so it can withstand a little bit of abuse. Not that I will intentionally abuse, but my stuff tends to get a run for its money, and I'm not terribly precious with art supplies. I'm learning not to be. I'm learning that my creativity soars when I allow myself to not see these things as super precious. So I'm just getting that good and wet and glued down. The Fabri-Tac underneath will hold it in place. And this is going to, put a protective coating on it. So before I came on live, I worked with my Cantha cloth and did some kind of fussy cutting of, what do we want to call these? It's an applique, I guess, of sorts. So I fussy cut some of the design out of the cloth. And this we're going to just glue on with my matte medium glue mixture. I got a stem right here that I wanted to work from there. Whoops. I just remembered something I wanted to do first, you guys. So real life crafting, it's like, whoops, forgot about that. If I had remembered sooner, I would put this underneath. But I got my jar of ribbons right here. And I want to have this so that I can tie the journal together when all the signatures are in. So I have some pretty neutrally colored ribbons in a jar here. I think I like this. And I like this one and this dark, might be green, but it kind of looks blue. Maybe I'll use this. This plainly is a blue color. I'm going to lift this up a little bit and add my ribbon underneath here. There we go. I would have run it all the way across had I thought of it soon enough. I did not. So then we punt. I've gotten to be pretty good at punting because I make plenty of mistakes when I'm doing that. Thank you, Rose. You like the fabric with the blue cover. That's what I thought as well. And these ribbons are, I'm going to just cut this guy in half right there. These ribbons, I think, go nicely with the neutral kind of tan of the flower with the blue of the background. And I'm going to just pop this guy up a little bit here before that glue sets up and have it be like it's going right underneath there. There we go. And press that back down. Got my baby wipes here so that my fingers don't get too zhuzhed up. Yes, the best results do often come from punting, don't they, Michelle? Some of my best projects have been the result of mistakes that I've made that I have to find a way to finesse. The finessing can bring the magic sometimes. So I'm going to leave the ends of this ribbon soft, but I'm going to put my glue matte medium over that ribbon. I'm going to do the same over here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that pretty blue velvet ribbon. I'm going to get it the same length as the gold. That's going to go underneath there as well. And just have these go together like that. I was playing around off camera, finding things that I thought would look great together. I hope that I'm right about that. You can't go wrong with beautiful colors and velvet. You can't go wrong with blue velvet in my mind. It's a great thing. So a little bit more glue right here. And I think I'm going to Fabri-Tac the blue velvet onto this. So I'm going to push this guy up a little bit, put this on my mat, and just get a little bead of this, just enough for this part, and just kind of come down halfway. I hope you can see that. I'm trying to marry that to the middle of the gold ribbon. And there we go. Poking that up from there. Oh, thanks, Rose House Crafts. They do look really nice together, don't they? Oh, you guys, my fingers. I got to find the baby wipes. There we go. Keep your fingers clean when you're doing this kind of stuff, because you can end up with colors where you don't want them. I'm getting a little bit of pink on there from my paintbrush because I painted something red earlier today. You think you clean your brush, but it doesn't always come out all that clean. So I'm going to keep doing that across here with clean fingers. Get those ribbons on that way. Here we go over on this side. Doop to doop to doop. The other piece of, yeah, get that underneath and then come on across. You can see we'll come on across this way with the velvet And I'm just going to keep on keeping on with that and get that all the way across. But now that I have it settled in there a bit, I can add the other embellishment and appliques that I had in mind, right? So there is that. My applique piece, as God is my witness, I have not moved from this spot, and yet I've lost. There it is. There it is. I found it. This one, I think I'm going to go with the Fabri-Tac as well. I'm going to put it on this skinny little stem. And we're just going to do that right here. Ah, Jenny, you're part of the beginner group. Awesome. If you're just beginning an art journal journey or a bookmaking journey, or there's so much fun in store for you, because there's just nothing like it in my estimation. Someone along here asked someone what their specialty was, and I think I know the folks I know in the boho group here, our specialties tend to be that we don't have specialties. We love to do all the things, and as a result, our mixed media journeys are rich and full of fun, exciting things. I like journal making and art making and art journals, book binding, because we can do all the things within that. We can do embroidery and machine sewing and hand sewing and lettering and just any kind of craft or art form that we want to play with can find a place in our journals and in our bookbinding adventures. So that's what excites me the most, I think, about this kind of an effort, that we don't have to pick one thing. We can go with all the things that make our heart beat a little faster, and just try out all the different things we want to try. And because it's in a book, in a journal, we don't have to be precious with what we're toying with, what we're using. It's just an old book, right? So if it works, it works, and we celebrate. And if it doesn't work, we learn and we go, well, that was a lesson. That was something that I didn't know before. So I cut some leaves out of that same quilt, that same Cantha cloth quilt, and I am gluing them onto the book separate from the flower motif. I love how that outlined right there. I've got this guy also, the dark blue. I'm going to put some of him over here. So do you guys understand? I am just wrapping my head around what's happening here, where I will take this cover and mail it to my designated boho team person, who will then add a signature, and our books are going to make their way around the country in our friendship circle here. Every month, a different person will add a signature and send it on to the next person. What do you guys think of this? Love the blue and yellow combo. Me too. Me too. It looks pretty good on my camera or on my screen here. I hope that it looks good to you as well. These things will have to dry. But there we have that. I'm trying to keep an eye on the time. So I've been live for about a half an hour. Let's continue doing this ribbon. If anybody has any questions, Michelle, as God is your witness, yes, you can relate as well. I get that. Little bit of the Fabri-Tac along the middle of this gold ribbon. That's something else I have learned a lot in mixed media, book binding, art journaling experiments is, boy, do you learn a lot about adhesives and what they're good for and how you can use them to their best effect. Because there is a glue for every purpose. Do we have to own every single one of them? Well, some of us want to, but probably not. We get to know the materials, and that's, a fabulous thing about being in a friendship group too, is I know all the things that I know, but then I know Amanda and Michelle and Bev and others, and they know all the things they know. And when I'm smart enough to listen, I can learn so very much, right, from other people's experiments as well as my own. So this friendship thing has a lot going for it. It warms the heart and fills the brain with new ideas and just a lot of fabulousness. I think that's a word, fabulosity. I'm going to go on here, finish that. Yeah. I have some other ideas for embellishing this cover a bit more. I don't know if I break out my dryer, maybe I can get these adhesives to dry enough so that I can run with some of my other ideas too. I did think about adding some gold to the background of this. My ribbon is not quite long enough, so I'm just going to chop off the extra. I'll wait till this dries and then I'll do that, but chop off that extra piece. Yeah, the Journals on a Journey event is fabulous, and I am excited to even try to do a variety of this with people in my local area. If we could get something going where it's a pass on the journal kind of a thing. I'm going to put this one on the back cover. Originally, I had a plan for 3 leaves on the front, but I've run out of space. So I'm going to put this on the back. And we'll have that leaf just shining for all to see right on the back cover. There we go. So let's see how it's coming. We've got, yes. We need adhesives to dry. Do you mind if I grab my blow dryer? You guys maybe talk amongst yourselves while I make a lot of noise with my dryer here. Got my mini split cranked up to 80 degrees just to keep it in the 70s in here. We have had some winter weather advisories, ice and sleet and snow. So it's nice to be cozy in the studio with the mini split pushing out warm air. Here goes the noise, you guys. Capri, if you can hear me over the noise of the dryer, I am in Minnesota. I'm in the Twin Cities area, so that's kind of central and eastern Minnesota, basically on the Wisconsin border. You don't even hear the dryer. All right. Can you still hear me? So I am in Minnesota, and today our weather we were like in the 20s today, which to us in January sounds not bad at all, but there was a lot of wind, and I'll take 20 below zero and no wind above 20 degrees, and that biting wind that just goes right through a person. And Alabama, you've got the 50s. I bet that's chilly. I don't know. I stayed in Louisiana for a while over what they considered some cold months. And I know if you're not used to the cold, it can be a bit of a rude awakening. So I have, ooh, look how shiny that looks on there. These are transfers. I'm a stockist for Iron Orchid Designs. These are gilded transfers. This particular one is like typography, looks like newspaper columns, and they just kind of rub onto a surface. I want to put, just as some background, let's see how it looks. We're experimenting. I hope that is dry enough to, oh yeah, I like that. Can you see it? I don't know. Yeah, if I go like this, you can kind of see that. So I'm just kind of putting it here and there around my leaves and floral motif. I don't want it to be a perfect. That's another nice thing about this boho style. You don't go for perfect. So when you fall short of perfect, you're still happy. It's genius, if you ask me. So I'm just going to rub this where I do not have fabric and just add that extra gold pizzazz on here. A little bit down here. Oh, yeah. And it will be fun to look at this later and see which words actually show up on my book, because I don't know. I often like to think the universe sends me messages in all sorts of ways. It might be through a word I find, or a lot of different ways. I think that's looking pretty good. I hope that you can kind of see that. I feel like I want some more of this gold lettering in between these. So not concerned with having, this read across in any sensible way. I'm just adding it for the sparkle, frankly. A little bit down here in the corner. Yep, that does it. And then we'll put some on the back cover, which I do believe is dry enough to take some. Yeah, we're just going to see what's left on there. It is fancy, isn't it, Capri? There. Ooh, yeah. I might need to cut another piece for up here. It's getting a little too sparse for me. So let's just cut another chunk and lay it down up here. I'm not sure who I am mailing my cover to, but I know that Cheryl, who has pulled this together for all of us, has given us really clear direction. It's just on me to follow those directions. And I know I will be finishing this up and getting it into the mail so that the next recipient has time to do her part. Oh yeah. Does this look boho to you? We've got sparkly gold. We've got the beautiful cantha cloth, maybe a tiny bit more words, gold letters in here. Is it this one or this one has? There we go. So just a little rub on of the fancy gold. Do I have to seal it? I probably will do a quick coat of like just matte medium over it, but I don't want to take away the shine of it. So I don't think I will. My answer, Kara, is no, I'm not going to seal it because I don't want it to mess with the pretty shininess of that that gilded transfer. So I'm just going to make sure it's down as well as it can be. And it's just going to have to be all right. You know, if it wears off, well, that happens with things. They wear off and we love the vintage look of them, right? Let me check my time. It's 7:39. Okay, we got 20 more minutes to play around with this. It's dry enough that I can flip it over, because something else that I like to do with these books and journals is to have them be cute inside and out. So we have that. I've got ties for it so that when the signatures are added inside and it's big and wide, I can still tie it up together. Inside, I have a pack of, I guess it's scrapbook paper. It's 8.5 by 11 inch. And I think this may have even been called something to do with boho. I love this one, but it doesn't go with what I'm doing now. So that'll be for another project. I picked out, I think these are deep blue. Look at some of these gorgeous designs though. So I love to go through and just see what I can put with what. Amanda talked in her video about quilts that she had made. I used to do a lot of quilting, but that's a commitment, you guys. When you make a big full-size quilt, you're going to be working for hours and months and years sometimes. I just like dabbling. I like dabbling with the pretty colors, and putting things together like this makes me happy. Maybe you guys who are watching, can you give me a vote on if you like the polka dots or if you like this? I think I'm leaning towards this. This is kind of boho-esque, but with the floral, with whatever, I think I'm going to go with this motif inside, and I'm going to get this cut to size. If I was at home, I would use my paper cutter. I'm sure I have several here in the studio too, but I want to stay on camera. So I'm just going to use the sides of this to line that up. And there we go. Get a straight cut right there. And I'm going to cut it here. So as straight as I can make it. put a crease here where I know I want that. There we go. So I have that one cut. I'm going to use this as the pattern to cut this next one because they should be the same size. I'm going to flip that over so my eyes don't go nuts trying to see. And we're just going to get that with that and cut this the same size as that one. And these little details. Someone I watched earlier said that too. It is the little details that can take a project like this from okay to like, whoa, blow you away. The little tiny details are so fun to add, and they just bring a project like this to another level, I think. So I'm only going to glue this down to this. I'll leave that part unscathed. Here's this. There we go. Cal, you said the second one. I hope that that is the one I chose is the one you mean, I hope, because I'm committed to it now. I've cut them out, and I think this was the right choice. So I hope you agree. There is my matte medium glue mixture, and you can, I don't know if you can see the red paint coming out of it. This brush didn't get thoroughly cleaned, now did it? What do I have to? I have so much stuff spread out on my table here, but again, not the things I think I'm going to need. Let's use this stick again, multi-purpose. I will just use this gently to smooth that out, get that excess adhesive out of there, and make it nice and smooth. Ugh, gorgeous. So now my inside of this is going to be as pretty as the outside. Wipe that with my baby wipe. Just get that. There we go. And come on over to this side and do the same with the matte medium / white school glue. Just spread that on here. Thank you, Cal. I am just excited for this to make its way to the next awesome creative person on our team and see what they are going to add to it. I'm excited to receive. Michelle said she thought she was going to be sending her beautiful purple and green journal cover that she's worked on today. She said she thought she was sending it to me. Well, I hope that that's true because I'm excited to receive it and, you know, work up a signature to go inside that will do her cover justice. I mean, that's part of the fun of this too, I think, is just being inspired by each other's work and, you know, honoring the theme that the original creator has in mind, but adding our own little twist to that so that the sum of our parts is going to be greater than, or however that expression goes, that we will be greater than the sum of our parts, I guess, that's what it is. Taking the strengths and the talents of each person and adding our own twist to it, we're going to end up with something better than any one of us could have done all on our own. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've got that. We've got the little gully, so this still folds up nicely. This is going to be my Boho Friendship Journal cover. There it is. I've got the leaf on the back. I've got the flower and the leaves on the front. Because I am thinking we don't have one particular binding method prescribed, I don't think. So I'm going with the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I will mark my holes so that when this goes out to the next person, it's going to be all ready for them to put the signature in. I got to find my ruler here, guys. Again, use the ruler. Haven't gone anywhere. Can I find the ruler now? No. Anyone there see where I put the ruler? If not, I might have to go find another one somewhere. It's a really big quilter's ruler. I love having the plastic transparent ruler when I'm doing this kind of stuff because you can really see your divisions. I got my blanket. I can't find my ruler. Let's see. Well, underneath here is a ruler. This has a grid on it. So let's see if I can figure out how long this is. I'm going to go to that 11 mark, and it comes down to, it is, I want to find the center, you guys. There's that. There's always a way, right? There's that. So the center, I believe, is like right around here. Let's see if I can make a mark there. Just a tiny mark, just like that. See if I've got it in the center. That much is sticking off. That much is sticking off. Yep, it's got to be a little bit higher up. Right there is going to be my center. So I'm going to have the mark. We're going to go through with, what do we have here? This guy is called Boom Boom. Yeah, the transparent rulers do hide really well, don't they? Thank you for understanding that. I'm just going to come on through here, though, with my pokey tool. What are these pokey tools called, you guys? Good Lord, where are my words? I don't know. But this is how my person will know where to put the where to sew in the signatures. I'll probably do most of this off camera because I want to let some of this dry some more. But this is how, gosh, what are these called? Awl. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. It's an awl. And I'm going to make at least this first set of holes for the center, right through my potato chip box, right through the fabric on the back, keeping it nice and straight. I think when I mail this to my next person, I'm going to have like a little template so they can use that to punch the holes in the paper of their signature so that it'll all get lined up really nicely. I have been talking at you guys and with you guys for, let's see how long now. 7:52. We have approximately 6 minutes until Cheryl brings this all home with the last presentation of today. Does anybody have any questions or comments before I close out my friendship journal on a journey segment here? I really want to thank you guys for joining. I'm sure after I hang up after I end this stream, I'll think of a million things that I wished I would have told you. So I'll provide comments on my own video here and share with you any other stuff, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Capri, for following me. I just love to create. I love sharing the joy of creation with friends new and old. Where does Afton come from? Afton is the town where I have my studio. Afton, Minnesota is a beautiful little village. We're not far from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul. So if you were in Afton, you could be in the Twin Cities in 20 to 30 minutes. You can take in professional football and concerts and whatever. But our little tiny village here is just quiet and simple. And we're surrounded by suburbs. And I think, because I know I lived in suburbs before I settled in the St. Croix River Valley here. And there's just something to be said for small towns and river valley towns, especially for me, especially. They just have a charm that the suburbs have never, ever been able to deliver. So we are in the midst of many, many people, but somehow we just have a chill, quiet, kind of a boho vibe, really. It's kind of a boho vibe here in Afton. I always like the expression, they would say, keep Portland weird. You know, I'm on a mission to keep Afton a little bit weird, a little bit special. We're going to stay small and fun and funky. I'm going to let you guys all go for now. Refresh your screen in just a minute or two. Cheryl is going to close us out for today. And I want to thank Cheryl for all she's done to pull this together. Yeah, Stillwater is just about 8 miles north of Afton. So if you come to visit Stillwater, Celeste, please head on south for 8 minutes or so. I guess it'll take you long, 8 miles, but maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And come see us in Afton. It won't take you long to see all the sites. We've got some, and we've got, it's just a beautiful town. So thank you so much for joining. And I will see you in a month, I hope, when we take on the next step of this and add signatures to our beautiful friendship journals on a journey. Thanks for joining me. Bye, you guys.